quite different. We are reviewing some would call it four-wheel drive, some would call it luxury sedan, some would call it new to the market. We are reviewing a BYD Shark. Now, this won't be a technical review because I'm not a technical guy, but this will be a practical review. Does it work well? How does it look? The functionality of it, and the most important question that hopefully we answer at the end is, would I buy a BYD Shark? Obviously, we're going to take it to one of the great testing places of southeast Queensland, and that is the Glasshouse Mountains. This here is a BYD Shark, and it's been in the market now for quite some time, but I've managed to get my hands, they've given me the keys for a weekend to test it out and do a bit of a review. Now, I've seen reviews on this, there's technical reviews. This is going to be something a little bit different, practical. Do I actually want to buy one of these? Now, from the outset, what do you guys think? How does it actually look? I reckon it looks really good. This here all lights up. I love the white and the black combo. I think that on any four-wheel drive looks epic. You got a ute tub, it's 4-door, and it's really, really cool. So we're gonna jump straight into it, and I wanna show you guys a few epic features. Before we jump inside, around the outside, I wanna show you my favorite. Now, at the moment, it's open, but if I just get my phone, put up here, look at that. I have just locked the car, literally just from my phone. Now I go up to it again, hold it there, and it is open. That is just the craziest feature. So you can even send your key. Let's just say Meg is at the shopping center. She can't find her keys, doesn't know where it is, she's lost them. I can send her a key, she can put it in her wallet, and now she can find her car, straight to it. She doesn't even need a physical key, which is just insane. This thing here, it's electric hybrid BYD, and what that means is there is a motor inside, a 1.5 litre a 1.5 litre turbo motor in there. That sole purpose is actually to charge the battery. So the battery, there's two batteries, one for the front wheels, one for the back wheels. And when that battery gets down to 20% when you're driving, this motor, if you think of it as a generator, it then turns on and it charges your battery back to 70%. Now, when it gets to 70%, the motor will turn off, generator will turn off, and then you'll start to use your battery. So that way you save fuel, and you can also get to where you need. If you're just on the battery, it goes 80 kilometers. That's its range. Now, obviously there's a few flaws with that. If you're thinking of using this as a typical four-wheel drive where you're going on long trips, you're going to be using that generator a heck of a lot more. And if you're towing, even more, but we'll get to all of that later on. For now though, let me open up and I'll show you inside. Let's move in to the interior of the BYD. Firstly, come in. There's spots for your phone, and you are greeted with this almost spaceship style interior. It's got a black roof, which I really, really love. Everything just works and it feels really nice. I don't know if I like the shape of the steering wheel, but I love that it's got this little cutout bit here where you've got your terrain and your mode modifications. Now, down here you've got your switches, your start. So if we turn the car on, obviously the car's on, but it doesn't make a sound. The beauty of being electric. This is the first electric car that I've driven, so I had to really get my head around that. And then you are greeted with this massive screen here that's got all your functionality and everything that you could ever need. Obviously connects to your CarPlay like every other car, obviously. But you can also tell it to do things. So I can go, hey BYD.
Hello.
Put down my window.
All right.
That's pretty cool. Hey BYD.
What's up?
Wind up my window.
All right.
Okay, so that is very, very cool. The fact that you can do that. You can even, listen to this, ready? Hey BYD.
Hi there.
My bottom is freezing.
Okay, turning on seat heating.
And just like that, my rear end will be toasty. I better turn that off actually. It's got heaps of sensors, so obviously I drove it on the highway up here. If you let your hands off the steering wheel for even a couple of seconds, it'll tell you, hey, pay attention while you're driving. if you even yawn, it goes, hey, maybe it's time for a break. I was yawning on my way up here, obviously, because it was early. So there's cameras, there's sensors everywhere, which is really, really good. Safety is definitely paramount for this sort of car. A couple of things that I don't really like is on this armrest here, it kind of goes up and down. When I drive, I want my arm kind of resting on the door, but it's at this point where there's a weird bump in it. So I don't know if I really like that. It's just not that comfy. I like the shape of the aircon vents and the coloring in here. A really cool thing with the screen as well, I can literally press a button and the whole thing rotates. Now what purpose that serves, I don't really know, but I think it's a pretty cool feature. The seats, they're actually really adjustable, so much so even the support that you've got underneath your thighs, you can change. They're really comfy as well. So BYD's done a great job in the interior. You've got a massive center glove box, heaps of more charging points in there, obviously. Let's make our way now to the back of the car, and I'm actually going to, I think I can light it from here. There's a switch. I'll press this button, and then the rear tailgate will soft open. How's that for electronics for the back of a tub? As we can see, that soft opened it, and then we just let that go and it will open the rest of the way. Now in the back here, it's just like a normal tub. You got heaps of room, there's tie down points, chuck anything that you want. There's a couple of additions to this BYD that I'm not going to find on, let's say, my Hilux or a Ford Ranger. Right here, there's obviously a little power outlet symbol. That means we're going to get power. So if I open this up, 3 power sockets, each 10 amp. So I can plug my power tools, I can plug my fridge directly into there. There's obviously inbuilt inverter in the BYD. It's basically one big inverter. And this is actually all, I think they call it marine grade. So I can stack this with, you know, let's say I put heaps of firewood in here, dirt, mud, doesn't really matter. I get home, I can wash it out with a hose, I can hit this with water, and it's not going to damage the electrics. There's 2 lights either side. I don't know whether on camera you can see this over here. I'll get a few shots of it. So in the back, it's really, really practical. I think you can actually get smart canopies. I think the BYD do a package with Ironman. Let's go test out this BYD. One thing that I think is worth mentioning is we do have a recovery kit in the back. Obviously, I didn't bring the Max Tracks. I've got Dave in his brand new Ranger, so I'll show you that as well. He's a recovery vehicle in case we get stuck. We hop in. We've actually got our key in here already. Press our start button. It is on. Vehicle is started. It says shift gear to drive, so pull it down. There is no handbrake to undo, and now when I release it off the brake pedal, we are good to go. Where are you?
Still in the same spot?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there in like 5 seconds. I went down the hill.
Yeah.
But then got a bit dirty, and then I was coming up, and I don't know if you saw the other car that came down.
Yeah.
But they wanted to chat for like half an hour, and then they parked in front of my car, so I couldn't leave. Dude.
Dude.
I went right down to the bottom and then got a bit bogged and then tried to reverse and just flicked up.
Mate.
Flicked up a bit of mud, you know.
And how long, this is your first trip out with your new car,
First trip out with the new car, yeah.
Looks good, look at that.
Meant to be taking some nice photos of it, so bit of Photoshop, you know.
One of the craziest things about this BYD and why I would never take it mud bogging, and before I came to a bit of water and decided to reverse and turn around, which BYD, if you're watching, you are welcome, is because the battery for this car is actually built inside the chassis. And for those of us who have a regular four-wheel drive, we know how much we need to clean out our chassis, how much mud gets in there. So I can only imagine if you're stuck in mud there or bog and you're going through water, then that water will go into your battery. And I'm not sure how good, how well sealed they are. So yeah, it's just something to note and consider. A couple of modes down here, modes, and this one here is terrain. So you can see here on the screen, if I do the terrain, you've got three. You've got snow, which I'm never going to use, mountain, and mud. So I don't really, snow, mountain, mud. I think I'm just going to put it in mud for now. You can see up here, traction control is off. All of the lane, assistance is off as well. And then there's a lot of other stuff on there that I don't know. You can see down here, my battery, 68%, and my fuel will get me 526 kilometers. Alrighty, we've found a little hill on the side, so I'm going to try getting it up just in normal mode. Actually, I'm going to change to mountain. So right here, we've got our mountain right there. It's actually a little bit scary. It's a little bit steep. Oh, that is steep. Mate, you're kidding. You're kidding. Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that. Mate, I was not expecting that. It literally just, I thought I didn't have any power, and then it just kept slowly, hardly any wheel spin. And that's pretty steep. Like, that's pretty steep as far as hills go. I would have needed to chuck a locker in for the Hilux. Mate, I'm impressed. It probably didn't look that good. Feeling that we're going to come up to a hill that will really test the BYD. So let's I'll show you the hill and then we'll see how we go. Well, happy days. That one's a little bit too much for the old BYD, so we'll go find another hill. I think if this was actually my BYD and I'd owned it for a year, I would have given the end of that a go. But because I'm borrowing it for a weekend, there's some other boys up the track that were kind of egging me on, oh, we'll give you a spot. And the four-wheel drive side of me goes, man, I'd love to. But the sensible side and knows that if I break this car, I need to pay the excess, goes, I'll leave this one. I think we've already tested its capabilities on that really steep hill. That's probably the maximum that it can do. Got about an hour drive back home, and I thought I'd just run you through a couple of things. Now, if you are towing and you tow a lot, a couple of limitations that you need to be aware of if you're thinking about a BYD. Now, I will say this is obviously information coming secondhand because we're not going to have time this weekend to chuck our Jayco on the back and actually test this. But the capacity of the battery, where it would normally go 80 Ks, as soon as you tow, is drastically reduced. Your speed of when you're actually driving, I've been told that you can't actually go past 110 Ks when you're towing. I'm not sure how true that is. As I said, I haven't tested it. One thing that I've always wondered about EV vehicles is what happens to the battery in, let's say, 10 years time. Are they going to be as good as they are today? Is the battery life, what was 100%, only going to charge up to 90%? What does long term look like for EV vehicles? We need to make sure that it goes well for the family. There's no seat for you, is there, Judah? Do we need to put a seat in for you? There's a little lever. This goes back, and then you can see here that they've got the child restraints. I'm not really sure what this is. Hey, I'll go get your car seat. Oh, mate, your feet are wet. Don't show that on camera. Whose seat is this one?
Yeah.
It's Juna's. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty easy.
Come on. Bye.
In one of the previous episodes, I got given so many comments because I was wearing my sandals with my socks. And if you're not in Queensland, a Queensland winter means I'm pretty lazy and that's all that you can do. Well, where does the BYD put us? And I'm going to answer the question of would I buy a BYD Shark? We took it to Glasshouse Mountains, the four-wheel driving tracks. It actually performed pretty well, better than expected on the dirt roads and the hills. I didn't take it on anything too crazy purely because I only had this for a weekend. I wasn't going to risk damaging it because if I did that, I would have to pay for it. So I'd like to, if somebody has their own and is really putting this through the paces, a guy did Beer O'Clock Hill, a crazy steep hill in their BYD Shark, and I'm pretty sure he rode it off. So that's probably the other spectrum of the four-wheel driving capability. If I wasn't doing a lot of touring, yes, I would absolutely buy it for a daily drive or for Meg to drive. Would it replace my Hilux or the Land Cruiser? Absolutely not. I mean, we knew that going into this video, right? I once thought electric cars, especially for four-wheel drives, don't even come into that scene because obviously big petrol head, I love the diesels, I love an engine, but this sort of hybrid model, I'm quite excited. Now that I've actually driven it, I might be a little bit of a believer. So let us know what you think. Do you rate the BYD Shark? Would you have it? Hey, if you do have one, drop us a comment and let me know what you actually think of it as well. I'm keen to see more real life examples and scenarios. Well, appreciate you guys watching and we'll see you in the next episode.